looks like. Hello people, hello people. Hopefully you can hear me. I've actually connected the mic. Yeah, technical difficulties as always, but yeah, we should be all good to go today, guys. Hope everyone's well. It's been a hot minute since we've done a stream. You know, I've let this what's the word? I've let it all settle. I've let Arsenal do their thing for a week. Let's see what's happening. We're back now talking about all the transfers. And to be fair, I think I picked a good day. There's a lot of good links today. A lot of movements from other clubs as well that we can talk about as well. So yeah, we have a big show to get into, guys. Obviously, before we do start, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. As always, does help the channel grow. So yeah, keep it going, guys. Everyone supporting, big yourselves up, man. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. So I'll just go straight into it. First link today wasn't even planned because I set this stream up yesterday, and then I said, you know what? I bet by tomorrow, by the time I get onto here and I'm, you know, starting my stream, I bet there's going to be something that pops up. And yeah, the first news today, hopefully, let me just turn that off. So yeah, hopefully it's here. Yeah, you guys can see it, man. Arsenal considering move for Mohammed Kudus. So we are linked with a move now for Kudus again. You know, Arsenal, to be fair, linked with him for a while. We've been linked to him since he went to West Ham. We've been linked to him before he was at West Ham. And yeah, man, we're linked to Mohammed Kudus here, as you guys can see. Arsenal considering move for Kudus. Newcastle, Chelsea also interested. And Kudus wants to stay in Europe, preferably in the Premier League. And for me, listen, this is a player that, you know, I would definitely bring to the club. Like, Kudus is a player we should have signed in the first place. When he was linked to Brighton, West Ham, when he was like Ajax, right? He was linked to Brighton, West Ham, he was linked to Arsenal as well. It looked like we were going to go get him. And then I think it was a year we signed Havertz, man. This is what I'm saying. The Havertz transfer, I prefer not to speak sometimes because it does my head in. But we should have just signed Kudus then, £40 million. Obviously, we signed Timber from Ajax. Was it the year after? Obviously, after the whole Kudus thing, I can't remember the time scale now. But obviously, we signed Timber from Ajax as well for, what was it? £35 million, I believe. 35 million. I think Kudus would have been 40 million altogether. What's that? £75 million. That's a deal that's nothing for a team like Arsenal Football Club, man. But now, obviously, you look at his situation. Kudus at West Ham, probably now their best player, undisputed. You know, there's always that debate between him and Paqueta. I'm a big fan of Paqueta, but I think Kudus, everything he offers, right? He can play on the wing. He can play in midfield. He can play up front. You know, as I said, either wings. Like, he's such a versatile player, and dribbling ability, one-on-one, the way he can carry the ball, you know, athleticism, overhead kicks. Like, he's just a complete player. He's a complete player. So he's a freak player. And I wish we had signed him that time. As I said, when he was at Ajax, £40 million, we got a decent relationship, as they say, with Ajax, you know, and all of that, right? So I think we could have got a massive... I think we missed a trick there. We missed a trick 100%, man, at that point when we should have just went for him. Man, let me look at the chat quickly. Hanimi702, big up yourself as well, man. As I said, bless up everyone who's in the chat right now. And any issues, guys, let me know. Sometimes I'm just talking and I don't know if something's gone wrong. So like, if something's gone wrong, please, if you can, just make sure to say it in the chat. But so far, on my side, I think everything looks good. So yeah, I think everything looks good so far. But yeah, man, back to Kudus, man. As I said, like, we'll talk about him maybe more throughout the stream and all of that. But this is a player. This is a player, man. If we can get him in, I would do it. I think, let me try to see if I can get more information about Kudus. I'm pretty sure he's got about like is it £85 million release clause? Let me check. Mohammed Kudus release clause. I'm pretty sure he's got about 85 million on his head. Let's have a look here. There's something 5th of June from Sami Mokbel. That's perfect. All right, let me put this up for you guys. So it should just change. I don't know why it's been. I know I've done. Give me a second, guys. As I said, technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. It's not really technical difficulties. It's just me being funny. All right, cool. So boom. All right, here we go. So I got the article up. Let me zoom in so you guys can actually see what I'm seeing fully. All right, guys. So yeah, West Ham. This is from 2 days ago as well. So there's been rumors about Kudus for, as in this transfer window, for a minute as well. I didn't even know this, to be fair, because I didn't see Arsenal's name, you know, in the conversation until today. Sources have told BBC Sport that Chelsea are among the clubs to have engaged in early discussions. So Chelsea, wow, they're looking at him as well. You know, they're talking to West Ham already. But it just says, obviously, even Sammy Mokgo here said from multiple clubs. Arsenal now obviously named as one of them. Newcastle the other. You know, these are the teams, like, you see, we were talking about Mbuemo recently, right? We're talking about Mbuemo and Mbuemo potentially going to Man United now. Unfortunately, is a player that I like, but even his price tag is looking like it's getting up there. At the beginning, it looked like 45, 50 million pounds for Mbuemo. Now they're talking, I don't even know, I'm seeing like 65, 70 for Mbuemo. I think 20 goals in the Premier League probably is worth that kind of money, to be honest, right? So Man United probably going to go get that deal done. But again, you see, it's the same sort of clubs looking for the same sort of players. We all have similar needs now. Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle, Man United, we're all looking for similar sort of players. And Kudus, as I said, is a player that, with a release clause of 85 million, it is hefty. I don't know how you can pay it if you can pay it in 3 installments, how much they want up front. I don't know how West Ham want that sort of money, because if it's an installment situation, which obviously most transfers are obviously installments anyway, with this kind of money, even if it's a release clause, maybe it's something that you can do. But as I said, with Kudus, right, he is a player that is so versatile. He is so good. Like, he can. This is what I talk about. Real footballers. You can play anywhere. You can play anywhere. Any manager, even if it's Arteta telling you X, Y, and Z, you just get on the pitch and do what you want. And he's that sort of player that just gives me that energy. He's a sort of player, you watch him play, he looks like he's just free. He looks like he's just head and shoulders above everyone else at times. So for me, definitely, I think even 85 million release clause, despite the fact that obviously as Arsenal, you'd be like, we should have just got him when he was at Ajax. You know, we knew his talent. We saw what he was doing in the Champions League. We saw what he was doing, for Ajax. We should have just got him then. I think even now, seeing him come to England, seeing him perform with West Ham, I think 85 million, man, is minor. It's minor. Anyway, let me just read this a little bit more as well. So it says here, it is understood that Kudus is open to leaving the London Stadium before next season, particularly to a club that can provide him with Champions League football. So Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle this season all can provide him, obviously, with that Champions League football. And he's got 3 years left on his deal. So obviously he's got West Ham in that position where it could be a case where they're like, listen, you want him, pay the release clause. Obviously, when we got Declan Rice, that wasn't an easy deal to do. We were here, trying to get Declan Rice in a, I don't know what I've done with the screen, but anyway, yeah, we were here trying to get Declan Rice, right? And we had to spend serious dough on him. It was 105 million in the end, going machine for machine with Man City. Declan Rice telling Pep, shut up, I'm not going to you guys, I'm going Arsenal, all of that sort of stuff. But the money we had to spend, the negotiations, the way it was, even though we knew Declan Rice was probably signing for us since the January, it was a bit of a situation where West Ham were, they were hard to play. They were hard to play with. They were saying, listen, you pay the money or you're not getting the player. Simple as. And I respect that from West Ham. And they have every right to do that. Sammy in here saying, after 7 a.m. here, man, big yourself up, man. Awake that early just to be here. So yeah, big yourself up, Sammy, as always, man. Big respect. But yeah, man, let's keep going, man. Let's keep going. So obviously we've done Kudus there. That's okay, that's fine. I was wondering what the hell was going on there. But yeah, man, some other big news coming through as well, Rodrygo, who should we start with? Rodrygo? Should we start with Rodrygo? Should we start with... Who do you guys want to start with? Sesko, Rodrygo? There's so much going on. You know what? I think for now, let's start with Rodrygo. Because Rodrygo, for me, we'll leave Sesko. Sesko is a bit more advanced than everyone else. It's a situation that we think is very, very likely to happen. But here, this is what I want to talk about. Let me actually get this up for you guys. Rodrygo. Because we talk about Sesko, we talk about Kudus, and I'm like, we talk about Gyokeres, sorry. And I'm like, these guys, I wanted Gyokeres because he's proven, he scored the goals. We did a stream last week, he said 102 jugos, 97 goals. And I'm like, yeah, bring me some of that, right? Sesko, mad potential athlete, he can shoot the ball as well. Like he's got a lot of raw attributes that are really good. But what's gonna take us, to a place where I don't even care who the striker is if we bring in a top winger. if we bring in a player that is cooking from the beginning. So here we go. Let me move myself so you guys can kind of see the words, right? So this is from a page called Hand of Arsenal. From what I've seen in the past, they are fairly reliable. They seem to have, you know, like Arsenal fans would know, like when the party signing happened years ago, was it Odegaard as well? I can't remember. Yeah, Odegaard part. Remember AFC Bell, that guy. I don't know where he's gone. I think he got, I don't know if they doxed him. I don't know what they did to AFC Bell, man. That guy was a legend. Bring him back, man. You know, he's always saying, you know, the capital of Palestine's Jerusalem. Big him up. That was a real brother right there. And he was giving us the sources talking about, you know, the likes of Party coming in. I think Odegaard at one time. You know, there was that debate between Odegaard and Maddison. So this guy's giving me the same vibes. Yeah, I don't know who he is. But I'm getting the same vibes from here. So this is a story with some guy called Rodra1097. We can click on his profile after. And it says here, we can exclusively reveal the recruitment team at Arsenal are in unanimous agreement that Rodrygo Goes is a player who could be the difference in the hunt for major silverware. Several key figures at Arsenal have spoken to Rodrygo, including first team players, about life at Arsenal and North London. That's what you want to hear, right? Gabriel Magalhaes, Martinelli, Jesus. Chat to your boy. Tell him, listen, London is lit. It's not like Madrid. Madrid might have the sun. They might have the weather, but London's more lit, bro. London's more lit. Come through. You got money? Come through. London is lit. You're going to enjoy it. Getting paid the big wage. You know, you're living the London lifestyle. When you're a football player as well in London, it's not like you can't go anywhere. You know what I mean? People are not going to be, you know, they're not going to be on your case all the time. It's not like if you're in Spain. I can imagine playing for Real Madrid, right? You're a big player, like a Rodrygo. I'm sure, obviously, the Real Madrid players have their spots where they go and they're so blessed, right? But in general, I would say majority of players, like, listen, sometimes you go out, you'll see a player, Premier League player, he's just there. It's just normal. It's not really that deep. You know, they can just go live their life. So someone like Rodrygo, you come through to London, they're telling him, listen, no worries, bro. No worries. Nobody. The people are nice. The people are nice. You talk. You know, you play football. You play for Arsenal. It's so amazing. Yeah, that's what I need to be hearing from Gabriel Magalhaes. He signed a new contract. We'll talk about my guy as well, Magalhaes. What a legend, by the way. What a legend. That's my guy, Gabriel Magalhaes, right? I know he's chatting to Rodrygo right now. I know he's telling him about the life and all of that, but we'll talk about his contract as well. But yeah, Jesus, Martinelli, get on it. Get on the blower. And you talk to him. Other Premier League sides are involved and have also obviously set out their strategy to lure him. I'm told Arsenal present a strong financial offer for the players on market. I think with the case of Rodrygo, we go all in on Rodrygo. I think we can get him above any team in the league. Right? So for me, I'm not really worried about any rivals coming through. I think it's just about us. You put the money down. Rodrygo, he's lively in London. Come to London. Yeah, that's what I need to be hearing, man. You know what I mean? Anyway, so the current situation, as reported weeks ago, Rodrygo is set to have a meeting with Xabi Alonso regarding his future at Real Madrid. This meeting is yet to take place, and we can also exclusively reveal Rodrygo will try to emphasize his will to play a left-sided role. The Brazilian feels this is where he can express himself best and maximize his creative potential positionally. The Club World Cup will also be a key indicator of how Rodrygo's future is settled. Real Madrid adamant that they don't want to sell Rodrygo unless a player asks for a move. Arsenal willing to pull off an Ozil-esque transfer and compete with any club for the services of Rodrygo should he become available. And yeah, this is basically it about what they're saying about him. And as I said, you talk to Rodrygo, you tell him London is beautiful. You know, you're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna play the football. You know, it's beautiful. It's fantastic. You play on the left hand side. You know, you got Lewis Skelly. You got Calafiori. You know, you got all of these ballers. They'll help you out on that side. Hopefully, you know, they're not inverting too much. They might overlap a little bit more. Like Calafiori likes a little overlap, even though he's not a left back. He's centre back. You know, we need to actually stop that one. Even though I love Calafiori attacking wise, I think the brother's the centre back. You know what I mean? But yeah, Lewis Skelly, he's there. Maybe we bring another left back as well to do the little overlap with Rodrygo. But as I said, I think we put in the money for Rodrygo. I think we get him. And Real Madrid, from what I can tell, they are signing this kid. I heard about him. I was on a I went to go watch Dortmund, and I was with my mate, and he was talking to this Argentinian guy. I don't even know if he was a Dortmund fan, but it's in the yellow wall. And he was telling us about this kid from River Plate, and he's a baller. And my friend was like, yeah, I know him. And I'm like, who is this? Why do you guys? Like, I'm at the stage, right, of my life where I don't know, man. It's difficult to keep up with all these wonder kids. Every day there's a new kid on the block, right? So anyway, they were chatting. I'm like, who the hell are they talking about? Yeah, so let me find his name. I don't even know. It's like, this is what I'm saying. How do you even say it? It starts with an M. Masotondu. Bro, I have no idea. Something, I don't know this kid. Wherever it is, I think I'm going Fabrizio's page. I'm pretty sure he spoke about it. So yeah, bro, his name is Mad. His name is Mad. Bro, he's one of them players. It sounds like a region on Football Manager. Like it's a random star potential. I don't know. I watched the compilation. It looks good. It looks good. But anyway, here we go. Real Madrid are closing in on Franco Mastantuono deal. Mastantu. Bro, this name is mad. I ain't gonna lie to you. This name is mad. Anyway, here we go soon. Battle over as Real Madrid have total agreement on personal terms with Mastantuono. Maybe I think that's how you say his name. Final negotiation with River on different structure. Instead of 45 million, he put dollars, release clause, then all done. So yeah, anyway, this kid, from what I saw in the compilations, he's in that bracket of Yamal. They're trying to put him with Yamal. Chelsea's kid, what's his name? Estaval. You know, they're trying to put him in that bracket, right? Yeah, Mustafa, you're telling me he's a baller. He's a baller from River Plate. This is what I'm hearing. As I said, the guy, when I was in Dortmund, and this Argentinian guy, my boy's chatting to him, he's like, yeah, we have these. He's a River Plate fan, actually. He said he supports River Plate. And he was like, yeah, unbelievable player. Franco Mastantuono. I watched one compilation. It looks good. Left-footed from what I can see, right? Plays on the right-hand side. Looks all right. Looks good. So, anyway, they're bringing in this kid. If he's got so much talent, he's got so much potential. This is a kid that surely he's going to just come in and replace Rodrygo and probably offer a more natural, alternative to what's going on at Real Madrid. You got Mbappe, you got Vinny, Rodrygo, right hand side. It's not really it sometimes. It's not really it don't really bang. But if you put him on the left, every time he goes on the left, you're like, oh, got a player there. It's one of them ones, right? But this kid, from what I can see, his profile, as I said, I've not watched him. I just found about it. I found out about him a few months ago. And then that was it. I've not watched one River Plate game, so I can't even tell you how good he is. But all the street talk is that this guy is Yamal level, Estaval level. He's gonna come in and take over. And if the Real Madrid scouting team think he can go straight from River Plate to Real Madrid and do something, then he must be a player. He must be a player, right? So he must have something about him. But sometimes, as you see, guys, they do this a lot. Real Madrid, they sign Arda Endrick, and you hear the same stories. Like, even though I love especially Arda Güler, I think Arda Güler top player, and I think one day, I think Arsenal, brother, you should have just come in the first place. Give me another left-footed 10, right? We got a few coming through. Bring me another one, right? Arda Güler is another player. Endrick, you hear these names, these young, nice talents. They're coming through to Real Madrid, and it's just too much. You can't really break into the team. You're not getting enough game time. So I don't know what the situation with this kid will be. But as I said, if he goes to Real Madrid, I think that opens the space now fully for Rodrygo just to leave. And at least they have someone who can, he just plays maybe a few minutes here and there. Arda Güler maybe plays more, I'd say maybe even next season. Now you're starting to have a bit more familiarity, especially on that right-hand side for Real Madrid. So listen, I think we've got a chance now. Like, we've got a massive chance of getting Rodrygo. And it all just depends now on this new signing. I think this new signing of our striker is going to determine like how big our winger needs to be. As I said, for me, like, I see Kudus, like all the players we linked today, Kudus, Sesko, Rodrygo, we need all three of them. It's not a case where you need one or two. We need all three, and we're going to talk about why we need all three. Saka's injured. Saka is injured, man. Let me actually get it up now. I might as well get it up now. Saka, bro, the kid is on ropes. Like, we rushed him back, right? Last season, obviously, to come through. and help us in the Champions League. But now, I think, we're facing the consequences of all of this. So now again, Sammy Mokbel, BBC, good signing by BBC to be fair, because Sammy Mokbel, when it comes to Arsenal and just all sorts of news in general, I think he's been really good for the last like 3 or 4 years. I'm not surprised the BBC obviously snapped him up in the end. But anyway, so yeah, Saka's here is injured. Conor Gallagher, Watkins, yeah, we don't care about all of that. But yeah, Saka, 23, yet to play a game for Tuchel. After missing the first German camp through injury, is obviously missing again. He was injured obviously between December to April with a hamstring injury, and obviously because we drew Real Madrid in the Champions League, we forced him back. You could see him the way he was playing, man. He was half fit, but he still put in some of the best performances out of anyone on the pitch, and it just goes to show how good Bukayo Saka is, right? So I think for me, we can't be in a situation where we're playing another season relying on Bukayo Saka to really do much for us. Like, I think we need to have a season where Saka is there, existing, and if he's available and he's fit, then obviously he'll help us and push us on. Just like sometimes Man City, when they've had obviously De Bruyne, he's picked up his injuries, and De Bruyne would come through last 6 months of the season, business end of the season, and De Bruyne would push Man City to win the Premier League or to even win a Champions League, right? That's what he would do. I think Saka deserves to have one season like that, because ever since he's come through the first team, he has been playing game after game after game after game. Even now with his injury, forcing him back a bit early, he's injured again. I think we need to have a season where it's not that deep for him. Like, it's a season where he can just recover, rehabilitate, kind of just take a step back. Take a step back. Let someone like Kudus, if he's gonna come in, let Kudus play. Let Kudus play. Let Rodrygo play if we sign him. Let these other guys play. And Saka, bro, you can be doing your minutes on the bench till February, March. You're playing 20 minutes here and there. You're chilling, and then boom, Saka's back. He's fully fresh, and our best player is taken over. I think we owe Saka that. I think we owe him as a club, Arsenal Football Club, the space for this kid to just breathe. And I think what we've done with him so far is unfair, man. We've done it before in the past where there's Fabregas, Jack Wilshere. We've really abused. When I say abused, we've abused some players. We have really abused some players, right? And at such young ages. And obviously, the worst case scenario I said was Jack Wilshere. Fabregas, to be fair to him, there was even one game. Who did he do it against? Was it Barcelona? I can't remember. I don't think it was Barcelona. When he scored a penalty with a broken leg? This is what I'm saying. Like we made Fabregas feel the pressure so much to carry Arsenal. The guy said, "Nah, even with a broken leg, I'm gonna hit this penalty. I'm gonna score the goal for us." I don't want Saka to get to that stage, and I feel like he's already at that stage. To be fair, where it's like, if I'm not there, the team's in trouble. They need me. I have to carry it all on my back, on my shoulders. I just don't think it's fair. I think personally, it just needs to stop. We need to stop that, man, 100%. Mustafa, what are you saying here, bro? One of them comp ballers, yeah, about Franco, Mustanto, I can't even say the name, the River Plate baller. Saka needs rest. Arteta plays him in every game because he's the main outlet. Yep. You don't want to have Rooney legs run out at 30. Saka needs rest. Arteta doesn't trust and rate Ethan as well. Yeah, bro, 100%. I agree with all of that. You see, the likes of Wayne Rooney, the way Rooney declined, right, was scary. Obviously, Rooney was playing since 16, all the way to 30 years old. And to be fair, I think with Rooney as well, the way I don't know if it was fully about. Obviously, he played football so young that he had a lot of mileage on his legs, 100%. But I think the Rooney, the way maybe his lifestyle, the way he was looking after himself a little bit, I feel that all kind of contributed to him, declining so quickly. Just out of nowhere, Rooney was this monster, then all of a sudden, boom, it felt like overnight that Rooney just sort of dropped a level and dropped multiple levels. Even when he went on loan to Everton, was it even on loan or he was on loan? I'm pretty sure. It wasn't even he was washed. He was washed. Another player that we've had this season, the displeasure of, luckily not watching that much, but Raheem Sterling, right? Look at Sterling. Look at how Sterling has, really sort of suffered, playing football since he was 15, 16, and the last 2-3 years, like, Sterling is washed. Like, when you say washed, it's like to the point where you should probably retire. That's that level of washed, you know. So it is one of them ones. You play football young, you build up the mileage, and no one's looking after you. You end up in a situation like that. Even someone like Sterling, at least he went to Man City, and there was a bit more competition. Even though he was playing pretty much, you know, nearly every minute, but there's still times where he was out of the team. He was still, you know, he didn't have the pressure of a Saka. That's what I'm trying to say. Saka has pressure that's not normal. You know, without him, he probably feels like, oh, the team's going to collapse. The team needs me. If I'm not there, you know, they're not going to be able to do anything. I need to be there. And everyone in the club's like, oh, Saka, oh, when are you going to be fit? People probably asking him, bro, how's your recovery? What's going on? You know, there's just too much. There's just too much noise around Saka, too much pressure. And that's why today, when I'm seeing links to the likes of Kudus and I'm seeing links to these sort of players, I get happy, because that's what the club needs to be doing. The club needs to go find these players, right, that can help us go to that next level without obviously pushing some of our best players like a Saka, you know, over the edge and just maybe ruining his career in the long run, man. So I think this summer we'll find out what direction the team's going in, what direction the club wants to take us in, and we just need to, we need to do better, man. We need to do better. But yeah, man, let's talk quickly on my guy Sesko before we talk about other stuff as well. We'll talk about some rival transfers. We'll talk about the new contract of Gabriel Magalhaes as well. But very quickly as well, let's talk about Benjamin Sesko. So let me try and actually find his links from the likes of, to be fair, who broke it yesterday? There was someone else who broke it in terms of the rumors. I don't remember who it was, you know. It was someone else. It wasn't Fabrizio. But anyway, let's go to Fabrizio as always. This is how Fabrizio wins, because I just know it's going to be on his page. But anyway, Benjamin Sesko here. Understand Arsenal are now advancing in negotiations for Benjamin Sesko after initial concrete talks reported last week. Discussions underway and proceeding, and between all parties involved. No agreement yet. Now we're expected this weekend, but advancing. So Arsenal on the trail for Benjamin Sesko. I've seen reports of Arsenal think 70 million euros will get the deal done, and I think Leipzig maybe want 80 million euros. There's a little bit of a discrepancy there, so obviously they're talking about the price tag. But from what I can tell, just like Arsenal obviously reported interest in Rodrygo, it looks now 100% the club is fully on the Sesko train. They're not on the Gyokeres train. I think Gyokeres is a thing where, for the hierarchy, I think they're looking at it, level of investment, potential. I think the reason mainly Arteta is like, nah, don't bring me Gyokeres, is he can only play up front, let's say, right? Which sounds mad. I want a striker. He can only play up front. But from Arteta's point of view, it's like, yeah, this guy can only play up front. Potentially, I have to change the way I play to suit Gyokeres. There's a chance he doesn't adapt. There's a chance he has issues fitting into the way we play. These are all the doubts Arsenal have about Gyokeres. And I think in the end, that's been too powerful on the board. And I think it's a case where if Sesko for some reason doesn't happen, they'll just take the risk and sign someone like a Gyokeres. In their eyes, it's a risk. In my eyes, it's not a risk. But in their eyes, it's a risk that you bring in Gyokeres and he doesn't adapt. But someone like Sesko, they're thinking, athlete, running power. Gyokeres has running power, to be fair. You know, strong in the air. So yeah, I think that's an area where Sesko probably way stronger than Gyokeres in the air. You know, still good finisher, young, can play out wide, you know, bags of potential. They think he's going to be the best striker in the world if they develop him properly. These are the sort of things that they're actually talking about. So for me, I'm not mad at it anymore. I really wanted Gyokeres to sign. I really wanted us to bring in Gyokeres and, you know, just bring me a player. As I said, 102 games, you know, 97 goals for Sporting. I know it's a Portuguese league. I know all of this, but we've seen him in Champions League. Guy is cooking as well. He's a good striker. He's ready. He's had the experience. He's of a good age. You know, I thought that was a signing to make, right? But as I said, if you look at it from the club perspective, Arteta, the scouts, you know, they're like, nah, there's a few question marks there that maybe make Gyokeres feel just a little bit risky for them, and they'd rather go with someone like Sesko who can come in, you can maybe play multiple positions, rotate him a little bit more, and even if he's not scoring, let's say, maybe offers the team something, you know, in general. But listen, right now, you talk to me about our best striker, it's not Havertz, it's not Jesus. Even when Sesko comes, it's not even Sesko. it's Marino. You know, we've got to respect my guy, Mikel Marino, man. He's been slapping in the goals, even for Spain recently. So yeah, big him up. But yeah, man, Sesko, let's see how much it's going to cost. I think 60 million pounds, what's that, 70 million euros. Hopefully that can get the deal done. If not, it'll be 80 million euros situation. I've seen reports of even up to 90 euros. I think that'll be too much. I don't think that's what Leipzig will go for. But yeah, for me, I'm not going to complain anymore. If we sign Sesko, it is what it is. Honestly, it is what it is. You just have to make sure you bring me in the likes of Rodrygo, and go bring me a Kudus as well. And I'm not complaining. You bring me Rodrygo and Kudus, and Sesko is there as well. I'm not complaining. How much is that? I don't know. I don't even care. That's like 300 million. I don't care. Spend the money. We've got the money. You know, we've got the money. I'm pretty sure last summer we were in profit. Go spend the money, man. We need them free players. We can't rely on Saka for another season to carry us, as you guys can see, injured again. You know, we need options. Rodrygo, Kudus, Sesko, I'm involved. That's what I want to see. But yeah, guys, man, let's keep it going. We talk about Gabriel's Gabriel's contract extension now as well. Mustafa saying here, I think Sesko will suit Arsenal more than Gyokeres. And I think a lot of people are having that opinion, man. I think a lot of people have that opinion where, yeah, Sesko's definitely going to come in and he's going to suit Arsenal more. He's going to give us more of what we want and all of that sort of stuff. And yeah, I did see Odegaard's assist yesterday to the likes of Haaland. You can imagine that sort of through ball to Sesko. You can imagine Sesko potentially doing a similar sort of thing, you know, to what Haaland was doing. And I think that's why they want him. I think that's why they want him. As I said, athlete, you know, strong running power, all of that sort of things. I think in general, they look at his raw attributes and they're just like, listen, I'd rather work with that than risk potentially bringing in a Gyokeres who, in their eyes, not my eyes, might not adapt the league and all that sort of stuff. This Pletty goal guy, I think that Pletty goal guy knows as much as me in terms of like sources and breaking transfers. I don't think he knows anything. Sometimes I'm reading he just makes up stuff half the time. But anyway, I think Amorim might get Gyokeres after we sell Rashford, Sancho to fund him. Yeah, I think Gyokeres, to be fair, in the end, I think now he's going to probably end up at Man United, right? I think 100%. I think it's going to be a case where if Arsenal not moving in for him, I didn't see any other team really linked to Gyokeres, even though there's a lot of teams that maybe want a striker. Maybe Chelsea potentially look at someone like Gyokeres. But if Arsenal not in for him, and I think a lot of the doubts that we have, I feel like Chelsea's recruitment team is kind of similar. They'll be like, Arsenal don't want him, so I don't want him as well. You know, that kind of vibe. And obviously Amorim knows Gyokeres and Mbuemo going to Man United, Cunha going to Man United. I think 100%, right? Gyokeres, when I think about, yeah, he'll probably end up at United, to be fair. That does make sense to me in my head. But yeah, man, let's go into the Gabriel contracto extension. Yeah, is that even a word? I'm making up words, man. But anyway, Gabriel Magalhaes, man, my guy. We need to talk about my guy Gabriel quickly. I have to do this, man. I have to do this. It wasn't even on the title. I think it's somewhere in the description. But yeah, let me bring this in. I don't know what this thing is doing. Let me know. Ah, yeah, there we go. All right, Gabriel signs new Arsenal contract with the club. So yeah, as you guys can see here, you know, with his smile as he is, you know, pen to paper, Gabriel Magalhaes signs a new long-term contract. I actually don't know how long it is, to be fair. You see him here with Arteta and Berta. But for me, this guy, just quickly on him, this man is one of the few guys that makes me happy to be an Arsenal fan right now. You got Gabriel Magalhaes, you got Bukayo Saka, Saliba, Declan Rice. Who else do I rate in that team? Timber, to be fair, Lewis Skelly. There's a few players, but it's not like 15 players. It's like maybe 6, 7, 8 players max that I'm like, yeah, those are my guys. And yeah, man, Gabriel, probably number one in terms of attitude, in terms of mentality, in terms of what it means, you know, to play for the club. I just absolutely love this guy. His whole family, you can see like proper Arsenal now. Like they're so into it. They're so like, nah, this is it. This is Arsenal Football Club for him. And there was always that rumor that, going to go to Saudi Arabia. At that time on the bench where he was linked to Saudi, and it was going to be, I think, £100 million transfer. It was going to be mad wages for him. But yeah, man, thank God he didn't go anywhere. And we're keeping him probably Oh, is he best Arsenal's best centre back? This is the discussion that I don't know. It's hard because we've got Saliba, we've got Saliba, and he's a top player. He's a top centre back, and I think Saliba, he makes things look so easy sometimes that you even forget his level, because there are players who are so good and they make things look so simple that you're like, you just start rating them to another, not even rating them, sorry, you judge them by a different standard because their standards are so high that if they go below it a little bit, you're confused, right? And Saliba's one of them players, or even like a Declan Rice, Saka. I think them three players, right? They're not judged to the same level of other players because they're just on a different level. So when you're on a different level, you start looking at them, just a little bit different. Gabriel Magalhaes for me, man. I don't know. For most parts of this season, he was our best player. I don't think you can deny that. And obviously, we'll talk about our player of the season now confirmed, which was I did expect Declan Rice to win it in the end. But if Gabriel didn't get injured, I'm sure he would have won it. I'm sure Gabriel would have won it. So I think maybe for last season, right, we can say Gabriel maybe Arsenal's best centre back. I don't think that's crazy to say, even with Saliba there. I think I'd be happy to put him as the best centre back for last season, and maybe they're even going into next season saying Gabriel's the main guy. I don't mind. I don't mind because, as I said, I just love everything about Gabriel, the way he plays, his mentality, that dog in him, and even on the ball, right? People are like, oh, he's not a good centre back. They're like, oh, Gabriel, he's clumsy. He's not. Watch him play. His deliveries, his balls. Like sometimes the passes he plays into open space, forward passes. Man, he's a top player. Read this comment here. Christopher Chan saying, don't need another right winger. Bro, I think we need another right winger, man. I think we can't rely on Saka, bro, for another season to just stay healthy. And we owe Saka a year where he's not responsible for too much. He's just responsible for just looking after himself and, helping the team when he really has to, but not having the pressure every single 90 minutes, every single game. You have to do something, whether you're playing 20th place in the Premier League or whether you're playing, one of the best teams in Europe in the Champions League, right? I think we owe Saka one season, man, where he can just calma, let Kudus come in. Let's say we've signed the Kudus, let Kudus play. Let Rodrygo play. Let these guys take the pressure. You can chill, bro. You can chill. I think we owe him that. 100%. But yeah, man, let's talk about our player of the season very quickly as well. I think it should be on here as well, man. Declan Rice. Jorginho has also left the club, by the way, which is actually quite interesting. Well, we all knew he was going to leave anyway. Did they do a video for Declan Rice? Oh, no, they didn't do a video. Oh, did they? Anyway, it looks like they did do a video, actually. So yeah, Declan Rice here. Let's talk about that quickly as well. So yeah, our player of the season, as I said it obviously, I think it wasn't a surprise to anyone. In the end, Declan Rice, Arsenal's player of the season, first place. The only competition he had this season would have been Gabriel, and obviously Gabriel picked up that injury. And then in the end, them games against Real Madrid, them 2 free kicks in the first leg, I think regardless of whether we got knocked out in the end, obviously by PSG, I think that's probably enough even to keep him as our player of the season. But in general, right, it's not about the free kick. It's not about little moments here and there of crazy goals, or it's just his general play. It's the way he wins the ball back in situations where you're like, nah, how did he even do that? Watch the game against Man United. Was it 1-1 in the end? Rice equalizer. And there was one moment when he's gone to, I can't remember who went in behind for Man United. So anyway, one of their strikers has gone in behind. No one is there. I'm thinking it's a free shot on goal. I'm thinking we're cooked. I'm thinking, how are we even losing to Man United? How are we struggling against these guys? I don't understand, right? At Old Trafford. And Declan Rice comes in, winning the ball out of nowhere. Like, the way he can win a ball back is absolutely insane. Work rate like none other. Up and down. Obviously, number 6, number 8, can play anyway, just a midfielder. So for me, yeah, 100% deserves to be our player of the season. So fair play to him. More than happy to see Declan Rice in there. And I think, yeah, top player. And we need more. We need more players like Declan Rice. More players who can really do something. One thing that actually made me interested, guys, I was like, you know what? Maybe this is not going to be a bad transfer. was Zubamendi. I don't know if you guys were watching the Spain-France game, and I've not been too over the moon with this Zubamendi thing. We've heard about Zubamendi since January, so it's one of them ones. I don't really care what really happens. Jorginho's now left. He's gone to Flamengo, whatever, right? But yeah, man, there was a lot of rumors as well from Spain, like, oh, Zubamendi said he wants to go to Real Madrid and all of this. It's not even true. Like, that deal between him and Arsenal is done. It's a done deal, but it's a case of us just waiting, I think, till July maybe to fully talk about it and formalize that, 100%. But let me find this thing from. It was from Kike Marin. I think he's Basque. I know he's Spanish, but I feel like he's Basque. I feel like he always has these links to like Sociedad and them kind of teams there. So let me see what he put up something about Zubamendi. It was quite interesting. I don't know where it's even gone. But anyway, I can't even find it. But anyway, yeah, what he was trying to say was, long story short with Zubamendi, it's a case where the deal's done. He can't really speak about it right now. The clubs can't really speak about it until obviously it's completely finalised. There's some reports that Sociedad want the transfer announced in July for whatever reason here and there, and that's just going to be the case with Zubamendi. But I was watching him play against France, man. Some of them line breaking passes from deep, winning the ball back. I'm like, I can see why, especially in the Arteta system, why he'd want someone like that. And with that money we're spending on him, he's going to be someone in the first 11. So I'm looking at the situation with Zubamendi and I'm thinking, we need him to be good, because that sort of money, it's about, what, £60 million. It's not a situation where you can chill on the bench in that position, the number 6. We don't really have many options. Jorginho's gone. The situation with Partey is I'm just gonna say it's suspicious. I'm not gonna add anything else to it. We don't know what is happening with that guy. Is he leaving? Is he staying? I don't know. Right? Personally, would prefer him leave. We bring someone else in to maybe replace him. Even let Lewis Skelly potentially come into midfield, and then we get another left back. I've been thinking about this whole time. If we have Zubamendi, you have Declan Rice, and you have Lewis Skelly playing in midfield, get me another left back. Just go get me like a Gyokeres type. Obviously, I know he's going to Liverpool. Just get me someone who can go up and down that left-hand side. You get Rodrygo on the left wing. He can cut inside. And that's a situation that we could have at our club. So there's a lot for us to work on. And there's a lot of things that we can do to really push Arsenal, man, to a different level. It just takes a club, man. It just takes a club to be a little bit serious and work out what we're doing early. As I said, this whole Partey situation, I don't know. I don't know if he's staying. I don't know if he's leaving. You hear different reports every single day. If I even check now, I bet I'll find something different about Thomas Partey. Because one second he's staying, next second he's leaving. And if you know about him. That's all I'm going to say. I don't even want to say nothing. If you know. Very suspicious guy. Yeah, very, very suspicious. So if we can get him gone, just get him gone. Get him gone. And then bring me, as I said, Zubamendi will come in. And then after, maybe let Lewis Skelly go into midfield and get me another left back. But in terms of transfers, guys, I don't think there's anything else that I want to talk about on the Arsenal side. But there will be quickly. Let's see if there's anything on our rivals, right? Obviously, Mbuemo, he's gone to Man United, or he's going to Man United. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. Tottenham actually sacked Ange. That's quite funny. They sacked Ange, and it looks like Thomas Frank is going to take over. They wanted to get De Zerbi from Marseille. De Zerbi said, nope, I'm staying at Marseille. Marseille qualifying for the Champions League anyway. I think the project there, it's obviously they don't have bags of money, but I think he wants to get it right, because at one stage it looked like De Zerbi was going to even get sacked from Marseille. There was a point he looked like he was going to get sacked. So yeah, man, De Zerbi stayed at Marseille. Thomas Frank going to take over at Tottenham. What else is going on in the world, man? Chiesa is leaving Liverpool. Joan Garcia. This is quite funny. The goalkeeper that I just remembered now, guys. I just remembered another transfer. That we're doing. We're doing Kepa. Let me get the Kepa deal up. Yeah, let me get I can't believe I forgot about this guy, man. So yeah, let me add this here. So first of all, just talk very quickly on Joan Garcia. He's going to Barcelona now. Snake move, man. Can't go to Espanyol to Barcelona, man. That's mad. Anyway, 25 million euro release clause, and that's the deal that's going to be done. I think that made sense. I think apart from him being a snake, obviously going from Espanyol to Barcelona, I think in terms of him not joining Arsenal, that makes sense for him. I didn't understand the links in the first place where we were linked to Garcia and, you know, we've got David Raya already. I know they were saying in the future they think Garcia is going to be a better goalkeeper than Raya and all of that sort of stuff, but Raya's not at the stage to go on the bench. Raya's not at the stage to be displaced. Raya is doing a job for us. I don't think there's any issue with Raya. He's strong in the air. He normally wins like 99% of any sort of aerial challenge. You know, despite maybe being a shorter goalkeeper, he saves well. He's good on the ball. He's a #1 goalkeeper. Most clean sheets last season as well. I don't really see a situation where it makes sense to even spend too much money to sign another goalkeeper. So yeah, I was expecting Garcia in the end to go somewhere else, and he ended up going to Barcelona. From his point of view, his family, I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking in Barcelona in terms of him going from Espanyol to Football Club Barcelona. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, for us, as I said, it didn't really make any sense to go for someone like Garcia. But the news that's now come in, obviously, is Arsenal Football Club. We're going to sign Kepa. Woohoo! Let me bring that up, man. Kepa. Let me just bring it up quickly. Kepa. Put it here. Bang. So yeah. It even wants to load. Is it loading? I don't even know. Let me know if you guys can see it. Is it loading? I think we'll load now. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, so Arsenal have made contact with Chelsea regarding a deal for Kepa Arrizabalaga. With the club looking for a capable #2 goalkeeper, Kepa is willing to compete with David Raya and is ready to take a wage drop to facilitate the transfer. So, yeah, man, another season, another ex-Chelsea player at the club. This is the only issue I have with the deal. That's about it. You know, another ex-Chelsea player coming to Arsenal Football Club. But in terms of the deal itself, £5 million. I don't really rate Kepa as a goalkeeper. I don't really think he's like compared to Raya. Right, Raya's a strong goalkeeper. Right, as I said, he wins his aerial duels. He's got strong hands. He normally saves most shots. Very competent goalkeeper. Kepa, I don't know. Sometimes I watch him and I'm just like, how have you let that in? A bit weak here and there. But for £5 million, right, as a #2 goalkeeper, I don't know. You can do worse. You can do worse. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the deal. Another Chelsea player though. That's the only thing. Like another Chelsea player coming to the team. It is what it is. Most of them, to be fair. Let me think. Most of the Chelsea players we signed in recent years, apart from Havertz, have not been that bad. Jorginho was okay. David Luiz, when he was here, he was like for the time. I'm not talking about like we're not going to win a league without David Luiz, the one that we got. You know what I mean? But for the time, his personality, what he offered the team, I think David Luiz was obviously someone that became very likable at the club. Who else did we sign? Petr Cech was a bad one. Yeah, that Petr Cech in isolation wasn't bad. It was more the whole summer. Like we just signed Petr Cech. We needed to sign a striker. So that was the issue. It wasn't that Cech was like, why are we signing Petr Cech? It was more, why are we only signing Petr Cech? And then obviously in the end that Europa League final against Chelsea, and it's like the years later, it's like, well, yeah, what's going on there? Yeah, in general, to be fair, we've not done too well with these Chelsea players. So I don't know. We might need to stop at some point and just go explore other options. But for £5 million, I don't think Kepa's a terrible deal. I think he'll come in. They say offer competition. He's not offering any competition to Raya. He's not on the same level as David Raya. But cup games, Carabao Cup, early stages of FA Cup, you know, depending on the opposition, he can come in there. Maybe if we get to a stage in the Champions League where we're doing really well and we're playing, you know, sometimes you might get a game against one of them. The Champions League is so big now, you might get a game against one of them proper like meaty teams and sides near the bottom of the league. You can play one of them games. But in general, I don't see Kepa coming in and ever causing David Raya any problems. And I think that's good. Because compared to Garcia, right? Garcia would have come in and he's like, I'm going to become the #1. I'm going to take over David Raya's position. I'm going to be Arsenal's goalkeeper. And it would have created a lot of conflict and tension. And one of them in the end would have had to leave. Right? The same thing that happened to Ramsdale. Obviously, Ramsdale was there. Obviously, Raya's a better goalkeeper. But Raya was on the bench. And it's like, Any second now, Ramsdale, you make a mistake, I'm taking over your position. And that's exactly what happened in the end. David Raya came in and never looked back. And Ramsdale ended up obviously leaving the club. And yeah, conceded hella goals last season. But yeah, Kepa, he'll come in, cause no fuss. He'll understand that he's number two. He'll understand that, to be fair, from his point of view, he's probably even lucky to even get a chance to play for, you know, another big team after how his time at Chelsea went. You know, sort of revived himself a little bit now, and now you got a chance to be at Arsenal Football Club. Help David Raya out, you know, another Spaniard in the team, and just keep each other company. You know, just help him out here and there. But yeah, I think yeah, £5 million. It's not a terrible deal, is it, man? It's okay. It's okay. But yeah, guys, let me see if there's anything else that I've missed, man. In the comments here, new music, big yourself up, bro. Arteta loves a new keeper, and yeah, I don't see the point in creating unnecessary competition with keepers if you already have a good one. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. You don't need to have a situation where you've got two amazing goalkeepers. Anyone could be number one any day of the week. It's just pointless. It's pointless. You need to have one number one. David Raya has done a good job. I know Garcia has all of this potential in the world, and you know he's going to become this great goalkeeper. And you even see it in the past, right? Remember Chelsea when they had Petr Cech, but then they also obviously had Courtois on their books. And Courtois, we all knew Courtois was going to become maybe the best goalkeeper in the world, right? We knew he had that sort of potential, but he had to go out on loan. You know, he had to go out on loan. He never really got a look in at Chelsea in the end, even though everyone knew Courtois was going to be this amazing goalkeeper. The timing for him to take over at Chelsea just didn't make sense. And I think that would have been the same thing with Garcia. You come to Arsenal Football Club, and yes, you've got amazing potential. Yes, you've had an amazing season with Espanyol, but you're not going to come in and take over David Raya's position. I think it's as simple as that. So yeah, for me, I'm more not happy. I'm not. You know, let me calm down. I'm not happy to see Kepa come in and be like, yeah, Kepa's this amazing goalkeeper. He's going to come in and really help us. But I'm happy enough to see someone come in that's not going to cause any fuss. He's going to come in, do his job, go home. You know, you're going to play your little cup games here and there, and that's about it. You know what I mean? But, oh, I've just seen something actually quite interesting. Before we wrap up, right, I've seen an interesting piece of news. Let me know, guys, if you guys, he linked to Arsenal in the past. I don't know if Arsenal fans would want him now. Not sure. But let me just zoom in here so you guys can see what's happening. So, hopefully you guys can see that. So yeah, Fabrizio Romano here quickly, before we wrap this all up. He's saying here, João Pedro expected to leave Brighton with movements taking place. Would you guys take João Pedro? I don't know. I don't know if I would take João Pedro, man. He's a good player, very, very good player, but he's got some issues. He's got some anger issues, man. The guy is a bit crazy. Like, I don't know. Maybe we need a bit of that, a bit of fire in the belly. You know, but I'm seeing him elbow people. I'm seeing him cause a lot of fuss, even at Brighton. But he's a good player. He's a good player. Is he a player that can push us to the next level? That's the only question mark that you'd have. I think between, you know, obviously Gabriel Jesus replacements, if you're looking for that specific sort of style of play, it would have either been Acuna or obviously João Pedro. These are the two sort of players, obviously Brazilian as well, all of them. I think, yeah, João Pedro, good player. But I don't know. I've not seen Arsenal linked with him in months now. Obviously, there was a time it looked like we were really linked to him, and potentially that was something we were looking at, and it was maybe going to happen, and But there's not really been anything, to be honest, to say that he's a player that we're looking at. I think obviously now we've talked about Sesko, Rodrygo, Kudus today linked as well. But João Pedro, Premier League experience. He's played for Watford. He's played for Brighton. I wonder what sort of team he ends up in. I've seen him linked to Liverpool, to be fair, which would be a massive step up for him, going from obviously Brighton to Liverpool. But I'm not saying he can't do it. He's a good player. But if Luis Diaz stays at Liverpool, does it make sense for them to sign João Pedro? That's what I'm trying to think. João Pedro, Nunes, Gakpo, Diaz. Obviously, Salah is his own guy. He's got his position locked up. But yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting link. It's an interesting, not link. It's an interesting opportunity on the market, man. I don't know what you guys think about that. And yeah, man, big up New Music saying salute, bro. First time watching, great content. Yeah, big yourself up, man. As I said, like, the streams are coming. You know, we've been pushing this channel. If you guys obviously see the past streams, videos, etc. And in the next few months, the videos will be coming more and more and more and more and more. So hopefully we have obviously new people coming in. And I appreciate anyone, as I said, subscribing, liking, telling a friend, sharing, all of that sort of stuff. It does really help the channel grow. So yeah, big yourself up, man. And yeah, man, welcome to this little community that's being built on this channel. But yeah, guys, man, I think at this point, let me see if there's anything else that we need to talk about. We've touched on quite a few things. Gabriel, Declan Rice, Sesko, Rodrygo, Kudus. We've touched on quite a bit today, you know. So it's just a case where now we have to wait and see. Hopefully there's movements, man, in the next few days. You know, hopefully by Monday, Tuesday, we have an idea of what we're actually trying to do at this club, man. So hopefully, yeah, hopefully we can get things moving. But apart from that, guys, as I said, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Take care. Have a good day. And yeah, man, peace.